Hi folks, in this video we shall look at painting Imperium Mutatorum ammo crates for use in your games of 40k, Necromunda and Kill Team. So without any further ado, let's cue the music. To start out, I'll be applying a base coat of heavy green from Vallejo, thinned down with little water all over the crate. I have glued this crate to a spare base to ensure easy access to all sides without leaving fingerprints in the wet paint. You may find this takes a couple of thin coats to get a nice smooth finish. In this instance, I have used a light grey primer, but you can use whatever primer you have available. Just remember, the lighter the primer's colour, the lighter your paint colours are going to be over the top. Once the base coat is dry, I will then be applying an all-over wash of Agrax Earthshade. I'll be applying this straight from the pot and liberally applying to the ammo box, and this is going to help imply a dirty, weathered feel. Due to the nature of the wash's application, keep an eye on the wash as it dries, as gravity can lead to unwanted pooling. Set aside for 20 to 30 minutes to ensure the wash is fully dry before continuing painting. I recommend painting these crates in bulk due to this. Once the wash has fully dried, it's time to highlight and make the details stand out. The first highlight is a dry brush of Loren Forest from Games Workshop. With this dry brush, I will be doing a backwards and forwards motion across the straight line detail and a softer rounded motion on the flat panels to start a transition of colour, which will leave the darker green in the recesses. The effect may be subtle at first, but with dry brushing, it's much better to slowly build up the colour. As a final highlight on the green, I will be using Elysian green from Games Workshop. This is a bit of an unusual choice, but its more vibrant nature will really help make the hard corner lines pop. With this colour, I'll be focusing on the line detail and corners rather than all over dry brush of the ammo crate. With the green now complete, we shall now look at painting the aquila, taking up most of the lid of the ammo crate. To start out, I will do an all-over base coat of hammered copper from Vallejo. This is a very similar colour to Balthazar Gold from Games Workshop. It's a nice brassy tone rather than pure copper and really helps with the gritty tonal palette. If you make any mistakes with this colour, don't worry, wait for the paint to dry and then touch up any areas where you may have overspilled with the original base colour of heavy green from Vallejo. Once the hammered copper has dried, we'll then be coming in with bright bronze from Vallejo to do a highlight layer on the aquila. We're going to approach this as a simple layering highlight over the hammered copper. So what we're doing here is covering about 90% of the previous paint, leaving just the hammered copper's darker tone in the recesses. You can do as little or as much as you like on this, but I'd recommend, considering this is terrain, to just do enough to get the impression of a highlight. Once again, just like in the previous step, if you do go over or make any mistakes, wait for it to dry and touch up with your base coat green. The final stage in painting this ammo crate is to apply a dingy brown stain to weather the box. This is optional, but will really help sell the idea it's been been sat in a dirty, grimy environment, surviving longer than those who would use it. This wash will be made by taking Mournfang Brown from Games Workshop and thinning it down much more than usual to a similar consistency to a wash. The reason this is used instead of a brown wash is that it will leave a much different finish and leaves a natural grime textured look rather than just staining the colour darker as a wash would do. With this wash you can be quite liberal, the more applied, the more grimy the crate will look. With the Mournfang Brown wash dried, this ammo crate is now complete. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to get updates on further tutorials just like this one. See you in the next one.